Salutations everyone, and we continue where we left off the last time with only one further tutorial course left, which is the stealth course, which I will hopefully ace the first time.
This is a restricted area. The vending machines are down the hall and to the right.
Alan Parker, I'm here for espionage orientation, so let's not waste time.
You're Thornton, Westridge's candidate for the job.
I thought I said let's not waste time. Any other facts you want to spill, or can we get to it?
Very well. So, orientation. You are familiar with the premise of an obstacle course, I assume?
I topped the Academy speed record by 5 seconds. Any other questions?
Excellent. And this will be quick. Up the ladder is the training area. The first test is navigating through the environment without being detected. Following that, you'll be facing live challenges against the agents here.
Anything else I should know about running this course?
Yes. I suggest you do it quickly. And talking gives your position away.
What's the deal with the security panel?
It secures the entrance. If you're as capable as Westridge says, then you should have no trouble hacking it and gaining access to the course. Clock's ticking.
Great.
Well, I could hack it with an axe. But I suspect that's not what he means.
Course begins now. Hack the door in front of you to gain access to the course.
Sure. There is the first segment. And there's the other.
Always check your surroundings for cameras. We can't have you appearing on the nightly news. Mind the gap. The key to stealth is timing. Pay attention to camera movements, then exploit their blind spots.
Picking locks. Ooh. Yeah, goddamn it.
Taking in the view. Yeah, well, I doubt the view is what's making you head to the control room for your evaluation.
Your score is based on several factors. Sorting the numbers now.
Let's see.
Outstanding. Well above average. Especially for a trainee.
Good.
Okay. You want to run it again?
No, I don't think so.
Very well, I'll log the results. Westridge can complete your evaluation once you finish the other tests.
Anything else you could share that might help me out? I feel like I've already got the basics down.
Of course, not enough of a challenge for you?
No.
Then I have an assignment for you. This one won't be logged.
What? You mean like a covert training op? Aren't you guys carrying orientation too far?
Nothing about Alpha Protocol is orientation, Agent Thornton, despite the semantics. The penalty for getting caught, however, won't be a poor score. It'll be detention. So, are you up for it or not?
Of course I am.
Well, I'm up for it. Let me see what you need. You want me to head back to the medical center? Why? What's the file name?
Jacob.
Why use this algorithm to encrypt it? That's like putting an electric fence around a dog kennel.
Your metaphor notwithstanding, the file contains the location of this facility, something people would pay dearly to have. Thus, the encryption. Not only will this be a much more practical use of your talents, but I think you'll be curious to see where in the world you're going to be sent.
Any other intel I should be aware of?
Nothing you can't find out on your own. We aren't even having this conversation right now, and the clock is running.
Got it.
Yes, unfortunately, what will make this more difficult than it should be is the fact that our armor is noisy. So it's quite possible that the people will be hearing us.
Are you waiting for clearance? Go ahead, man.
So we'll have to do it this way. One down. And 3 more to go. So, again, waiting for the cooldown to, well, cool down. Patience. Always patience. Him to sleep. Pick up the munitions again and wait for the cooldown to, well, cool down once again. I might use this opportunity to explain a few other things. Where was the the perks. The game does, well, give you perks, or give the player perks, depending on what you are doing. Usually it means you become better at what your preferred playstyle is. A player who tends to shoot his way through problems gets better at shooting, and someone who sneaks a lot gets better at sneaking, and someone who breaks everyone's bones gets better at bone breaking, and stuff like that. And this list will get considerably longer than it is now. And you can see we already have 3 perks. One for having tried the professional approach in our first conversations, which increases our endurance, which is our second regenerating health bar. We get a discount from Saudi weapon vendors for completing the cage match, and a gadget discount for completing the betting man match. And yeah, I guess the cooldown should, of course it paused. Endurance is the grey blocks over the health bar with the shield next to it. The 60 is the endurance. And while health does not regenerate, the endurance does after a few seconds, depending on your on the player's level in hand-to-hand combat. Yes. So let's send him over. And pick up what we came to pick up. And there's more to collect. And we got a new dossier. As you play the game, you can collect data on various organizations and, well, personnel. Some of those give you actual advantages, like for example increased damage to enemies or some additional dialogue choices. But for now, it's let's return to our friend Parker. After 3 tries, it's a good thing we can reload. Where did he come from? And of course, he doesn't find it suspicious at all that I'm coming out of the restricted area. Oh well. So let's see if he...
Did you do as I asked?
Got the data, no problem.
I'll download it from your PDA. Were you seen?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, well, then that'll have to be sufficient.
Now that you have this file, anything you can tell me about my real assignment?
You're going to the Middle East to recover stolen prototype missile technology. Your probability of success is in the lower 20th percentile.
Wait, I'm going to the Middle
Sounds
East?
good.
I've downloaded intel onto your PDA. That should prove useful when you reach your destination.
That intel you gave me, why wouldn't I have that already if I'm going on the mission?
That is a good question, Agent. I would find an answer to it when you can. If not here, then in Saudi Arabia.
I don't like the sound of that.
Good.
So when am I shipping out?
After you finish your orientation with Westridge, it's customary for him to outline, in a slow and plodding way, his expectations for you. Then he'll send you to fetch, like a good dog.
I'm not sure I like that comparison.
Yeah, well, none of us do, Agent. But such is the nature of the kennel you've been put in. Was there anything else?
What do you actually do here?
My primary role is intelligence analysis, but at times I serve as a handler during sensitive missions.
Intelligence analyst, huh? Find any yet?
Excuse me?
Intelligence, I mean.
Ah, humor.
Fine. That joke killed at graduation.
It's no joke. The smallest event, if analyzed incorrectly, could have great repercussions.
Like butterfly wings sparking a tornado? That kind of thing?
Spare me the butterfly cliché. Guerrilla actions, nuclear tests, exposing a corrupt politician, a rise in grain prices, and... yes, the downing of an airliner in the Middle East. All of these things have the potential to create larger catastrophes.
Okay.
Controlling the repercussions of these events, getting agents the information they need to put fires out before they rage out of control, that is my job.
So when I'm in the field, my orders come from you, or another analyst. My job is, what, to listen?
Yes, it's a numbers game. But decisions must be made quickly. If the decisions are solely reactive or passive, well, then you operate at a disadvantage.
So sometimes you create events.
For political equilibrium, yes, at times. At other times, to give America an economic advantage.
I thought we were mostly mission-driven.
We are. But even you will see the effect that even seemingly minor interactions have on the structure of a mission. Carry the logic one step up, and it shouldn't be hard for you to grasp.
You like working here?
My responsibilities don't account for that, nor should they.
You know, I actually thought you were the janitor when I arrived.
That would either be an insult or an excellent deduction. I'm guessing the former.
I was actually just trying to make conversation. But why would that be an excellent deduction?
Because, Agent,
Good question.
Alpha Protocol can only maintain plausible deniability as long as no one knows we exist. That means continually cleaning and scouring data, masking our communication lines, and protecting our global positioning.
I understand. That must be a full-time task, and an important one.
Agreed. Even Westridge would say I hold the most important post in the facility. So, in short, yes, I
Large
clean up
ego
after
much?
others, and if necessary, I'm the one tasked with shutting this program down.
Shutting it down?
Turning off the lights, putting up the chairs, locking the door.
What does that mean exactly?
This place cannot be found. If Alpha Protocol is compromised, any evidence of the program must be deleted.
But what happens to the... I mean, is there an escape route, or what happens?
What do you mean, Agent? Be specific. I dislike dancing around an issue if one exists.
What happens to the program? Seems like a waste of resources.
You are correct. If ended, it starts again under a different name, with a new agenda.
You sound like you've done this before.
If I have, it's classified. Or perhaps I'm joking. Are we done here,
I
Agent?
don't think he makes
I think
jokes.
I've answered all your questions.
Some of them, yeah. The others can wait.
That was a long talk. So, we finished our tutorial missions. So we can finally proceed towards, you know, the important parts.
You guys must have spent a
now his
fortune on
head is
TVs
smaller.
in this place.
You all done?
You tell me.
Now you're learning. I have to admit I was worried whether we'd be able to keep you here after you woke up in medical. You gave our staff a run for its money.
I gave it my best, and so did they.
Fair enough. It'll be a good excuse to up the morning drills around here. Looks like you did well on the tech portion of the test. Very well. Past Darcy's bitching, there's some real compliments in here if you look at the numbers. Mina's report on your weapon skill was impressive. In fact, I think you outperformed many of the guards. And it's your first day.
What can I say? Top of my class at the academy, if you read my charts. You did read them, didn't you?
Oh, I did. It was hard getting through the pages detailing your overconfidence.
Well, as long as you read the charts, that's all that matters. I'm a little surprised Mina was paying attention to my firing skills at all, actually.
Careful. If you get any more full of yourself, not even this facility will be able to hold your ego. And here's a surprise, a positive evaluation from Parker. On the number side as usual. But he actually took the time to write a sentence.
He did. What was the sentence?
You may have been right about this one, Westridge. For Parker, that's high praise. Assuming you don't let us down, Mike. Looks like that's it for the physical evaluation. Now for the hard part. Tell me why you're here. Not everyone gets chosen for this line of work, but you volunteered.
Yeah. Oh,
Usually we have to
Duty's
ask.
always nice.
I want to serve my country.
And you think by being assigned here is the best way to do that?
Give me a mission and I'll prove it.
What makes you think you're ready? Because I tell you, we get a lot of recruits in here, and you're not convincing me.
I think I'd like to cut through this bullshit and get to the mission.
In good time. Even vets like yourself could benefit by what I'm about to tell you. Beyond the guns, tech, and sneaking around in the dark, there's one last part of this job that nobody else here quite gets.
I'm listening.
Good, because listening is a large part of it. The way you talk to people, your attitude. That's what we're going to discuss now.
I'm not sure I understand. Is there something wrong with how I deal with people?
No, believe it or not, you're not here because you're a people person. You're here because your psych profile says you're skilled at manipulating others.
Was that a compliment?
You'll see. The way you project yourself definitely affects what people think of you. And your reputation will.
So, this is a win friends and influence people lecture.
Hardly. Turning a friend into an enemy and vice versa. Well, both can have their positives. Sometimes you want to piss someone off so they can't think straight. Other times you want to build a strong rapport with someone and talk your way out of a bad situation. All depends on your objective. This goes for your handlers as well. We're going to be sending you into a lot of dangerous places, and your only backup is going to be who you're talking to on your headset. How you treat them is going to have an effect on the success of your mission.
So if I piss them off, I'm screwed?
No. A handler that likes you too much and puts emotions before the mission can be just as dangerous as one who resents you.
This is a long way of telling me that I should just act the way I want? And if I compromise an asset in the field by choosing the wrong path?
No, again, there are no bad choices, just results. Over time, folks may hear about you and your attitude before they meet you. They may have a preconceived notion of how you're going to treat them, which can affect their reaction.
Well, maybe they should take the time to know the real me.
If only. Time's something no one seems to be able to spare, especially during a conversation. Although that can be a plus.
If I need a breather to assess the situation, right?
The clock doesn't stop when you're speaking to someone. So if you need to get your second win before a fight, making small talk can buy you time.
But if I'm running on adrenaline, won't chatting take me off my guard?
It can. So if you need to get to the point, act instead of
By
fight.
the way, this is
For
something
example,
that never happens in
if you
the
don't
game.
think I have any more to teach
So,
you, then you could just
kind of
say,
pointless.
I'm done with this. I wouldn't think any less of you. You seem to have the basics down.
And if they're a target, why talk to them at all?
Sometimes it is better if you shoot first. Still, approaching someone to talk to them can allow you to get the drop on them if you get close enough to strike. Use it if you have to, if the conversation isn't going your way. Assuming there's even a way you want the conversation to go.
So how do I know how someone wants to be treated? At least enough to cooperate.
If that's what you want to do, pay attention to the clues in your environment. Sometimes people will have advice, and intel can help. But there's another way. Read much?
Everything I can get my hands on, or download, or take from scribbled bloody confessions.
There's a host of information out there through dossiers, email, and other documents that represent total research others have collected on a target, organization, or operation.
And what does that get me, exactly?
Sometimes you'll spot obvious triggers. People who don't respond well to smartasses, like me. Others who respect loyalty, duty, a professional approach. Others who don't have time for bullshit, and like it when you get to the point. But dossiers just don't contain psych information. They'll usually have combat information on your target as well. What side they favor, any past injuries, common weapons or tactics they use. Some of it blunt, some of it subtle. But if push comes to shove, it can give you an edge in combat. The more you've done your homework, the more vulnerable they'll be.
So when the guns come out, the dossier can come into play. Have you read mine?
Several times.
You have dossiers on everyone here?
Yep, if you can dig them up. You might learn a few things. Sometimes reading a dossier will give you more options when dealing with others. A few facts to bring up, to shake secrets loose.
What about you?
You should already know what makes me happy, Mike, and what pisses me off.
How do I know when I have the go-ahead to start accessing files?
After meeting a target or hearing their name referenced by someone else, you should have a target ID. Then hop onto the database and start doing your homework. You can usually unlock their basic information at that point. Let's start with a simple one. Al-Samad. That should be familiar to you.
The terrorist
What a
group.
coincidence.
Yes, you can research groups as well as people. It doesn't carry the same benefits, but it can provide useful intel in the field. Talking to people about others is a good way to help gain dossier information. Sometimes people will have information on someone that can unlock a brand new thread in your computer search.
Okay, so I've suffered through your interrogation and know how to give one if need be. Am I ready or not?
We'll see. Meet me in the command center, and I can give you a proper mission briefing.
Good, because I'm sick of this room.
Trust me, Mike. If it was up to me, you'd never see this interrogation cell again.
Ooh, the irony.
Recognize him?
That's Sheikh Ali Shahid, the voice of Al-Samad. They say he was responsible for shooting down that airliner in the Middle East.
Yeah, he got his hands on some prototype Halbeck technology. A missile with a multi-stage targeting system called Jacob's Ladder. That airliner was his first target.
Specs and shadiness of this whole thing aside, how did Shahid get his hands on that missile?
Missiles. He's got more. He stole them from Halbeck, and we need them back before he gets any more trigger-happy. Then we want you to kill him.
You know where he is.
No, but that'll be part of your mission in the Middle East. Find the missiles, then find him and take him out.
You don't want him taken alive.
If he cooperates, sure, bring him in. On the off chance he tries to kill you, then put a bullet in his head.
I'll put my years in charm school to use.
All right, then, pack your gear. You're heading to Saudi Arabia.
Not coming with me?
I'll be there in spirit, and on video and radio when needed, Agent.
And I just got here. Oh, well, I'm gonna miss this place.
I doubt it. I'll contact you when you reach Saudi Arabia.
Hey! And as we can see, we have completed several bonus objectives, and yes, I am still here. Even though I didn't say much. So let's continue.
Care to explain how Halbeck lost its missiles?
Old news. Recounting error.
The missiles. You didn't lose them, did you?
Angry, Mr. Thornton? Because of what happened in Saudi Arabia.
Not really.
Can you read me? I'm I'm getting lots of interference.
I made it to Saudi Arabia, sir. I'm at the safe house.
I guessed that much. See any shadowy agents in trench coats at the airport?
No, sir, I don't think so.
That was a joke, Mike. But stay on your toes anyway. Finding Shaheed is your primary objective. Trouble is, we don't know his location, but we have 3 leads. An arms dealer, Nasri, is believed to have sold the missiles to Shaheed, and he's currently operating in Saudi Arabia. If you can intercept him, maybe he can tell you where Shaheed is, or guide you to the missiles.
Do we have anything else on Nasri?
Nothing more than what's in his dossier. If you can manage to make any contacts and find out more, we'd welcome it. We also tracked down the location of an airfield Shaheed used in the past. If you can sneak in and plant a listening device, we may be able to track flights Shaheed is using to move through Saudi Arabia.
And the third lead?
We've got the coordinates of an Al-Samad detention camp, also used as a stockpile for weapons. We suspect the missiles may be stored there.
Is there any way to be sure the missiles are there?
Not at this time. The area is dug into the side of a canyon, and getting reliable satellite imagery when sandstorms aren't blowing has been almost impossible. We'll want you to go in alone, recon the area, and shut down their radar and communications. Once that's down, we can call in air support and hit the camp hard.
No pressure.
And no backup. Get used to it. It's the job. You check out your new home yet? It's got some perks you might be interested in.
Full security system?
A computer with a hub connection so fast you'll feel like you're going back in time.
What, to the Stone Age? Please.
You can do dossier research, encrypted emails, and if need be, access some of the weapons dealers in the area. That'll be done on your own dime, however, using whatever funds you can find in Saudi Arabia.
I understand, sir. We wouldn't want Alpha Protocol tied to any weapons trafficking in the Middle East.
Exactly. There's also a weapons locker in the main living area. Open it up, help yourself, but use the ammo and armor you think suits the mission. When you're ready to head out, just use the front door, or access the missions from the main terminal. I'll have already uploaded all the mission specs to your PDA. You can review them at any time.
Alright, so is that it? Westridge. Great. Home sweet home.
Isn't he nice? Yay! And, alright, let's go with the toughness. And martial arts. Well, unfortunately, I think the rest of the skill points only unlocks later. After we finish with Saudi Arabia. And we are already at 30 minutes, so we will continue this, of course, in the next episode. And I'm planning on doing 1 mission per episode. Approximately, some missions are longer, some are shorter. So we will see how it goes, but I guess about 1 mission per episode will be the standard. So I will see you the next time. Until then, a most pleasant day, and goodbye.